Okay. Now, this might, here, we're gonna hope nothing goes wrong here. I don't really use this up for recording, but I just now found this game on itch.io. It's called Do Not Take This Cat Home. Now, it says it's one of those disturbing games. Yeah, not for the easily disturbed. Horror, human animal violence and death, abuse, disturbing images, loud noises, flashing lights and images. So y'all be careful while watching this video. I might have to move myself on this screen here in case I get in the way. But it's a cat. That seems very on brand for me. I fully plan on taking this cat home. It says do not take the cat home, which worries me a little. Look at this guy. Preferences? The red is already a bit worrying, because, I mean, red is a very specific color choice for this kind of thing. They know what they're doing, it seems. Or maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe it's just 14-year-old edgy, you know? And it's a visual novel, so it says it has one true ending, and I'm hoping that we get to that true ending by taking the cat with us. Not having a great day, as usual. Womp womp. Oh, interesting. They've got, I don't know if it's called chromatic aberration. Oh, I missed something. Wait, hang on. Oh, great. But they've got like a chromatic aberration or something on this, on the rain here, which I think is interesting. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out, but in the middle of your walk it starts to rain. Typical. However, but maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today. Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow. Right? You turn to head home when I hear that. Huh? What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. That's not worrying at all. Well, that and the weather. Yeah. ... But none of them react to the sound at all. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a dark, dingy alleyway. Now this is interesting. They've got a bit of a blur. That looks to be a dumpster and a regular trash can. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward. The ground dampened by the rain makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Cat's meowing more. Meow, meow. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. It was meowing. Not too many other things that meow. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Whoa. So cute. I agree, I like this cat. I'm taking it home. And it definitely knows it. You've never had much of an opinion one way or another about cats before. This is one of those The Office look right at the camera moments. But if they're all like this one, it's a shock they haven't already found a way to rule the world. You don't think you'd mind bowing down to a feline overlord? Yeah. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves cats in cardboard boxes these days anyway? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? The cat doesn't answer you. I didn't say anything. Obviously. It also doesn't do as you suggest and leave the box. It's just looking at you, as if it's waiting for you to make the next move. I take the cat home. I like the cat. I want the cat. You know what? You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not, you know? I love the meow. You're all alone and, well, I'm kinda in the same boat myself. So, you bring the cat close. You didn't realize it was shivering until just then, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Yeah, we gotta take this cat home. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a shelter tomorrow, but for now, let's get you out of the rain, okay? Stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, one you living alone in it. This is why you need the galvanized square steel. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it is just a cat. It's never just a cat. Oh, hang on, I'm blocking some of the text. Ah, that's the wrong one. I need to move myself over a bit so that I'm not blocking the text for you guys. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. Take out the can of cat food. What can of cat food? Where did we get this can of cat food? And you open it with a tab on top. You put some cat food on a saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over to you. It perks up at your beckoning and gestures over. Looks at the plate of food and eats it. And completely ignores it? Not Death Note reference at all? Not hungry, I guess. Try not to let it annoy you. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spend your hard-earned cash on it. It's just a cat after all. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? Cat rubs its body against your legs with a purr. You smile. That's enough of a thanks for you. It is. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted. Mayo and mustard. I don't like mayo. This game knows nothing. Turkey and cheese and lettuce perfectly placed. Tomato. Ow. I was cutting a tomato? No wonder I'm in pain. I don't like tomatoes either. You wince as you cut your finger on the knife while slicing a tomato. Yeah, stupid. Feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder and sigh, tossing the knife onto the cutting board. You're about to head to the bathroom for a bandage when the cat hops up on the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Don't worry, I'm alright. It was just Nyeh. You watch as the cat starts to what? Look lightly but enthusiastically at the blood on the knife. That is a bad sign. A very bad sign. At your blood. You're so shocked by the time you come to your sentences the knife have been completely licked clean. Cat sits back staring at you. You're trying to squint. I don't really have an emotion set up for that. Or not an emotion, an expression. It's very ominous. You feel a little uneasy. Yeah, no kidding. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird. Yes, I have to agree. Right? Right. Sure, no cat expert, but that was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. Da-da-da. Right? Well, it's meowing anyway. Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside, not after all your efforts. You're going to take it to the shelter tomorrow anyway. What's one night of awkwardness? Weird or not, it's just a cat. It really is. The rest of the evening, unfortunately, goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning the kitchen, while trying to watch TV, you gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried about the strange behavior. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. Keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner, untouched. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcefully, this time out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but before you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it down. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left after then tossing the cat out in the rain and finding the number of a local vet. After finding the number of a local vet, you pick up the landline and the lights just went out. That's weird. How'd that happen? Great, just great. Rain must have knocked out the power. Check your cell phone only to find that it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving out earlier. The outing had been so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. You grab a flashlight and turn it on. Boo. Da da da. It's funny to me how it goes 1, 2, and then you click for the third. It's quiet. Too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then why'd the power go out? You look outside. The sky is pitch black. What time is it? Turn to check the clock. Huh? Ooh. That says, well, I mean, it says either kill or help occasionally, which is not a good sign. It's really interesting, the cat sits on top of your digital clock staring at you. It's interesting how they've managed to sort of artistically curve the, it's sort of an H, but it's also sort of a K. And it's interesting how they've made that ambiguous, because on a normal, like, 7 segment display, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's pretty much unambiguously an H, but they've, like, taken the creative liberty of bending the top part just a little bit, which makes it possibly a K. And then, obviously, the other letters are rather easy. So, it's convenient that the 7 segment display can do that. I always like words on clocks. Thinking now, you realize the clock I probably should be taking this a bit more seriously. You realize the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are lit up and going completely haywire. The cat stares at you. It's completely still. You'd think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. It's not blinking. It's not even breathing. But its eyes. This isn't normal. Maybe. There's a small hint it might not be normal. That might not be normal. You're afraid. If you say so. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. Consider tossing the cat out after all. But, as soon as the thought enters your head, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Cognito hazard? I don't think that's the right word. Definitely mind nonsense. Its eyes hold you still. Even with your flashlight trained on it, its pupils are large, round, inky pits. I'm me pushing the button on my flashlight. Huh? What happened? Flashlight flickers. Oh. Da da da. And the cat is gone. And it's 12. Now we don't have to wonder what time it is. Fear immediately grips your mind. Silence punctuated with the rapid pumping of blood in your heart is overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up the sound of static all around you. Nope, no static. I don't hear it. I hear the heartbeat though. Boop boop. How's the clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment, but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening. That order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. Maybe there's a battery in it. Did I put a battery in it? Lots of clocks these days, they can either be plugged in or have a battery in them. You back away from the clock and feel as if the air itself coils tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce. But waiting for your next move. But you're afraid to move. You're afraid to even take a breath. Da da da. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you can already feel its impatience. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this, but you can sense it as clearly as if it has whispered, "Let's play." Oh, they said it for me. I heard that. Right into your ear. Right into your soul. Oh no. Da da da. Won't let you wait it out. Not that you could, even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hasty burst of movement, of action. But you're still weak from the fear's grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you and you hastily fall to the ground. I'm imagining I took like 3 steps and then fell over. Oh! Youch. A sharp pain explodes in the center of your foot. At first you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down from the length of your foot, pooling underneath it. That's not good. You Hear the sound of metal scraping on tiles as if they're skidding across the floor, as if it had been kicked. Winded from your fall. Winded from your fall, you look up in a daze and see the object glinting and a strange light coming in from outside. The light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what. Sorry, I'm reminded of the Electric Company song about the different questions. In regards to your inexplicably open door screech to a halt, as your brain finally identifies the metallic object you've been staring at. Not here. It's your kitchen knife, and still tinted red from your earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely licked clean by thee? You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up on your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board in the kitchen where you'd left it. Ooh, and you spy something in the darkness just beyond the knife. Do. Clever girl. You laid a trap for me. It spies right back at you. A pair of glowing golden eyes come forward as the cat emerges from the shadows into the light from your doorway. Pads lightly over to the knife, as if skipping in delight. Bends down to lap the blood dripping from the blade. We get a little silly sometimes. I forgive this cat. Immediately. Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breaths discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue spreading to your throat. Am I bleeding out right now? Am I dying? The incomprehensible sight of the stray you'd taken in. Licking away at your kitchen knife, once again completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Huh? Blood? Ooh. Golden eyes slide up to you as if in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. There's blood. Yes, that's what happens when you kick a knife like that. You're bleeding. Cat barely moves, shoulders twitching as if just considering the act of pouncing forward. Hey, come on, kitty. We've had good times together. Cats like me. Or at least I like cats. And I'm respectful. But you're already on your feet and out the door. Or rather, you run or rather limp down the empty street. The sky is black and bleeding red. Like my foot. Well, I mean, not unless the scab has gone black and there's a lot of infection, but my foot is bleeding like the sky. There's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the road, even you. Everything. Except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints that your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts. But you can't stop. You don't stop. Game stop. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel the gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then you don't stop running because if that's the cat right there ahead of you, then what in the world is behind you? Ooh, spooky question. Look at this. It's a kitty. I can't be intimidated by it because it's too cute. If it was like tiger shaped, I'd be afraid. But when they make it this shape, I'm not afraid. Tiger's scary. This little guy, not scary. Oh, well, that's a decision, isn't it? Decision and a half. I am curious about what's behind me, because as far as I know, there's only one cat, right? But if I look away from this cat, I could die. We're gonna look behind me. Huh? Huh. Interesting. How very, very interesting. Da-da. Ending 0, it begins. Oh, interesting. Technically, we finished the game, I suppose. Then we'd continue, right? Da-da-da. You're walking all by yourself. I'm thinking about my elf. From VeggieTales' Lord of the Beans, the elf is, not Elvis. Right, of course, it's the first time in a while that you felt like going out, and you're actually glad that you did. Oh, interesting. I did watch some people who had done the Slay the Princess, and I don't know if this is the same person or not, but it does seem to be very inspired by it. The weather is absolutely perfect today. Oh, interesting. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do, maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. There's a meow again. Huh? What was that? I honestly feel like I could get along with this cat. If I just give it a little bit of blood every now and then, it's fine. Maybe I could even mix in like a drop of it with cat food or something, and then it would eat its normal cat food and not be as hungry. Curiously guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. Meow. Meow. I like meow. I like cats. Cats. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light. Ethereal? I don't know why I said ethereal. I'm too used to reading it instead of saying it. Ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, that's never gonna crack me up. It goes 1, 2, 3. Is a cat. I love this little music. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. Yeah, I did meow, after all. Meow. It's an interesting looking cat. It's pretty, I should say it, by the way. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. Put its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Meow. Hehehe. What? Huh? So... Huh? You look so... familiar. That's not... It's cute though. It's still cute, right? Well... Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look after all. Dot dot dot. This one sure is a cutie. Hey, look at him. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for doing this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Take the cat home. If the game needs me to deny the cat at least once, I might never beat this game, because I am taking it home quite a few more times, I think. I don't know what you would expect from me. We both look at each other. Well, why not? Right? Now, look at it, so happy. You barely reach out your arms before the cat eagerly leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulders, butts its head into your temple, nuzzling against it. Purr. Dot dot dot. Hee hee. You can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. I already am. Let's get you out of here, yeah? On the way home, you briefly consider getting cat food. Dot dot. But that would be a waste of time. Huh? Shrug at the odd feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, just 1. 1 bathroom, just 1. Only 1. 1 you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside after so long, even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you wait for it to walk away and explore the new environment. What's that sound? Sounds kind of like breathe. Well, I mean, it sounds like breathing, but through something, you know? But it simply sits and looks up at you expectantly. Do something with cat. Like what? Well, we're going to pet the cat, of course. It's not every day you have access to a cute, fluffy animal. What else is there to do but pet it to your heart's content? You sit on the floor in your living room and click your tongue to call the cat over. I love cat. The cat dashes over to you, immediately climbing into your lap. poor thing. You just want some attention, don't you? Don't you? Hee hee. Alright, alright. You carefully pet the cat. I'll rub behind the ear, tee. I'll scratch under the chin, tee. A smooth sweep along the back. And it purrs because it loves it. Yeah, good. Keep petting the cat in your lap, enjoying this bonding time together. But the cat starts to get restless after a while. Well, let's do something else then. If it's restless, we can play a bit. We don't really have cat food because we didn't get it this time. Poor thing was probably bored stiff sitting in that old box all day, just watching crowds of people walking by them, ignoring them. How dare they? This cat deserves so much attention. You can't just leave them alone as soon as you're home. A little interspecies socializing won't kill you, right? Meow. Oh, you just want some attention, don't you? You want to play, huh? Meow. Okay then. What to play though? Ooh. Hide and seek? I don't think that's a good game for a cat. It'll get lost. It's never been here before. I think my laser pointer still works. Cats are curious creatures by nature. They're also natural hunters. Sort of. Why not pass the time by letting the cat hunt something it'll never quite understand? That sounds a little mean when you think of it like that. But it's not like the cat will know anyway. Ignorance is bliss, or so they say. So you dig out your old laser pointer from your long-gone dreaded days of group presentations in school. Flip it on and see that even after all this time, the batteries still work. You get a little kick out of aiming it at a mirror hanging in the living room so it reflects off the glass, making a little red dot appear on your knee. Now, cat cautiously walks over to you, stopping every few steps to cast a look of suspicion at you. When it finally reaches you, it lightly presses a paw to your knee, like it's trying to catch the dotted red light as casually as possible. You manage to hold back a chuckle, not that it really matters. The cat isn't paying attention to you at all, entirely focused on the light now resting on top of its paw. Hee hee. You move the light a little higher above your knee. The cat reacts immediately, trying to pin the light down. But in the next second, you've already moved it to the floor. The cat jerkily follows. I don't know if that's a word. Attempting a more energetic pounce when you shift the red dot. Over here. Over there. And over there. By the couch. Woo! Oh! It's animated! On the couch. Meow. Hee hee. The cat might be ignoring you, but you're certainly enjoying yourself. It's been a while since you've laughed this much. You're laughing so much, in fact, that you accidentally shift the red dot onto a lamp beside the couch. Meow. In its haste to get to light, the cat leaps onto the lamp, sending them both to the ground. Uh-oh! Kitty! Oh my gosh! The cat is sitting in the middle of the former lamp's broken shards, back hunched, its head whipping around back and forth as if in a panic. Quickly turn off the laser pointer and rush over. I'm so sorry, are you okay? Are you hurt, baby? You reach down to pick up the cat and check for any injuries when... Meow! Oh, it's scared, poor baby. Ow, hey! The cat swipes at you, claws extended. Backs up and twitches away, making frantic half turns in various directions as if looking for something, or waiting for something to appear. Ow, geez, that really hurt, you know. You hold the hand with a scratch close to your chest. It's bleeding, but it's not too big. You're more annoyed than anything, but... Meow, meow. Immediately, your annoyance starts to bleed into concern. Meow. You're watching in shock as the cat starts to run around, tearing at the carpet, the sofa, your armchair. You want to stop, but you're afraid of getting in the middle of its rampage. You consider calling a vet for advice on how to calm it down, but for some reason, you feel like that wouldn't be a good idea. Well, clearly... it feels trapped, right? I mean, our door's closed and everything. It's just had a big scare. And so, obviously, it wants to go hide somewhere, but it doesn't know where to hide because it's in an unfamiliar environment. It's had a shock. It's stressed out. No good at all. We just need to find a good way to calm it down and give it some time. Probably bringing its box with us would have been a good idea. Because even if it doesn't like the box very much, it would have at least been a familiar environment where the cat would have felt safe, I feel like. I don't know. I don't know much about cats, so I'm just making guesses. What happened to you? Is it... Huh? An idea comes to you, or rather, a realization? Grasp the laser pointer, aiming it safely away towards the floor in the middle of the living room. Thinking, hoping that the cat would calm down if it found what it was looking for. Turn on the laser pointer. Huh? Da da da. The cat's reaction is immediate. I suppose that works. Kitty, that's a bit loud, huh? In fact, that's not a cat noise. That's... I mean, obviously roaring is not something that smaller cats are able to do. It's like a difference in their throat muscles, I think. You're screwed up. In the span of mere seconds, you watch as the cat slides the red dot from its perch on the shredded armchair. Leaps high into the air. Changes in the air. Crash. There's still shards of lamp on the floor. What are we up to? Huh? Slams down upon the dot on the floor with a weight and force that shakes the whole apartment. Maybe even the whole building. You wonder dazedly how none of the other tenants have rushed over to complain about the noise. Yet as you stare at the sight in front of you, the cat has somewhat grown in size. Eyes bulging and glowing. Tail thrashing. Teeth enlarged, bared, and covered alarmingly in a bubbling froth. Well, we didn't get its rabies vaccine. Its giant claws rip and shred through the carpet, through the floor tiles, and even below them, ravenously trying to get at the red dot. Your hands are shaking. You don't know what to do. You feel trapped. You have to get away. Get it away from you. You slowly back up towards the door. The light moves with you. Run! Instinctively, after you flick the light away this way and that, the cat stampeding after it. Crash! So fast, smashing through the TV, breaking the couch in half. Crash, crash. Too fast! Bulldozing through the wall into the hallway. Crash! Wow, a chance. You turn intending to bolt out the door and never come back, but in your haste you forget something. You forgot several somethings. You forget the laser pointer gripped like a lifeline in your hand. Huh? You forget the mirror still miraculously hanging on the wall next to the hallway. The laser reflecting off of it, putting a small glowing red dot on the back of your head. What a silly thing for me to do. And as you reach the door, you forget that it's locked. Oh my. That's no good. Not a fan of that. You don't even have the chance to turn around before the cat lunges. You don't even have the chance to turn around before the cat lunges all the way across the room at you. Ouch. 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 You're torn to shreds before you can even blink. Ending 12 targeted. Take the cat home. And we'll kind of skip ahead a little bit. Because it seems like this is one of those games you have to play through a bunch of times. We're gonna clean the cat. Not surprising, since up until you brought it home, it's been sitting in a dirty old box in an alley full of scattered garbage for who knows how long. You've heard that cats can keep themselves clean, but maybe this is one of those times that a little human help couldn't hurt. Woo! Head into the bathroom and set things up, trying to remember how to wash a cat. You're definitely no expert, but you think the best way to get a cat clean would be carefully. I think careful is the way to go. Cats aren't always fond of water, so you doubt it'll be a fan of an excessive amount of it. So you pick the cat up and place it gently in the sink before turning on the water. Meow! The cat is startled, but ultimately doesn't try to run away. Nice. Scrub. You lather your hands with some soap and carefully give the cat a thorough half scrub, half massage. Hang on a second. We didn't get any, like, fur shampoo. Are we using hand soap for this or something? Are we using just human shampoo? That's different. After a few minutes, you rinse the cat completely and gather it up in a blanket, drying it. Then you take a brush and carefully run it through the cat's fur. And it purrs, because it loves it. The cat seems like it's in heaven as you brush it. Some hairs are sticking to you, but you don't mind, huh? In fact, quite a lot of fur is sticking on you. Try and brush it away, but it won't come off. Guess you're up next for a bath yourself. Meow. Try and ignore the fur and finish with the cat quickly, but more hair keeps sticking to you. That's a little weird. Your hands, your arms, before you even realize that they're covered in fur that won't come off. It's thick enough that you try and just yank it off, but ow. What? Pain lenses through the spot you tugged at. Huh? Catgirl time? Upon closer inspection, you see that the hair is growing. Huh? growing out of you. Ah, ah. You can actually feel it now. Fur growing out of your back, your neck, your face, your eyes. Oh no, that's not fun. That fur isn't supposed to be there. Your tongue? That's also not a good place for fur. It's even growing inside your throat. I'm not a fan of that one. Gasp, cough, cough. That one's a little icky. Dot, dot, dot. As you collapse and start to choke on the thickening fur in your esophagus, Cat leans up to lap at the fur growing on your forehead, grooming your hair as thoroughly as you did for it earlier. Purr, purr. You'd think it'd be sweet if you weren't currently losing air. Still, feels nice at least to be looked at and cared for in some way, even if it's just for a little while longer. Cat's careful grooming is the last thing you feel before you're no longer able to breathe. Ending 15. Self-care buddies. That was a little strange. But at the very least, the cat loves me. We shrimply continue. So, I mean, we've tried all the other things, right? We've pet it, we've played with it, we've cleaned it. We can feed it now. You're regretting not stopping for food earlier as you don't have much left. Grocery shopping day is tomorrow, after all. Head to your kitchen and click your tongue, ensuring the cat follows after you. It leaps nimbly onto the kitchen counter and watches as you search for meal options. Let's see. Find some things as you expect. A can of tuna in the pantry. Some leftover meatloaf in the fridge. And, what's that? What is that? You realize there's a tightly sealed Tupperware on the bottom shelf of the fridge. Dot, dot, dot. You don't recognize it. A foul odor is leaking from the container. Whatever is inside can't be safe for human consumption. Meow, meow. But the cat seems excited about it, practically salivating over it. I'm throwing this out. I'm not even opening that. Still, you're the caretaker here. You're the one who decides what's best to feed a hungry cat. So you'll feed it tuna. I don't think that tuna is a good option for the cat, but it's kind of like the best we have, because whatever is in that Tupperware is clearly expired, and I should have the option to just throw it away, but it didn't give me that option. Shrugging, you take out the tuna for the cat and the meatloaf for yourself. You put the frankly ominous container back in the fridge. The cat looks a little disappointed. Tough. You need to dispose whatever it is later. You open the tuna and spoon it onto a small saucer. You put the saucer on the kitchen counter next to the cat. You don't think you should be encouraging it to eat up there, but you'll figure it'll make up for it electing not to feed it the toxic goop it wanted. Meow. Cat looks like it finds the tuna acceptable. You'll take it. Eat up, kitty. Ow. As cat digs into its meal, you go about heating up the meatloaf in the microwave. While setting the time, you hear hiccup. Uh-oh. You turn and see that the plate is completely empty. Oh, I thought the hiccup was a bad thing. Well, that is quick. You need to pace yourself. Hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Uh-oh. What happened? You baffle as the cat continues to hiccup, causing little bubbles to float out of its mouth. How did it get into the soap? I didn't wash it this time. Okay, that's okay. You can process this. It's not completely out of the realm of what's possible, right? Right. It's adorable, but it's so strange. Why are you bubbling? Best not to think too hard about it. Sure, soon enough, the room is full of the floating bubbles. The cat releases a final tiny bubble before yawning and laying down right there on the counter. And it's purring. Well, glad you enjoyed it. The bubbles haven't left the room or popped. They seem to be pretty resilient. Wait, what? What's that? As one of the bubbles floats closer to you, see there's actually something inside of it. Tiny, furry. Fish? That's very odd. This is just getting weirder and weirder. Still, can't help but marvel at the impossible wonder in front of you. You lift a hand. Send a finger towards the bubble. Carefully press it against the surface. Ow! The little fish inside lashes out, viciously sinking tiny fangs into your finger. Doesn't really hurt that much at first, but then... Ow! 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 What? Pain starts to climb from your finger to the rest of your hand, past your wrist. Could it be some kind of venom? Just fling your arm around in an attempt to dislodge the fish, but... Gah! Accidentally knock your arm out and several of the bubbles floating around. More tiny ravenous fish latch onto your flesh. Stumble back, out of pain, on a sudden bout of dizziness, only to bump into more bubbles. More fish digging their teeth into your back. Ugh, it hurts. You're getting dizzy. You've got to get out. You deliriously try to stumble out of the kitchen, but the entire room is filled with deadly bubbles. By the time you collapse to the ground, you're absolutely covered in tiny, angry, biting fish. Your legs, your torso, your arms, your face. ... Pain is unbearable. You can feel it in your skin and your teeth and your eyes and your hair. Hang on a second. Your hair can't feel anything. It's too thin. There's not enough room to put nerves in there. And it's so consuming you can't even feel yourself convulsing or crying. You don't black out. Your eyes are still rolling up into your skull when you gasp out your last breath. ... Ending 8. Fish out of water. Now, we have petting a cat. We'll see if there's anything different here. Hee hee. This time we're gonna do keep petting. Feel so calm, the repetitive accent soothing your usually overworking mind. Keep petting. Now, the cat leans away from the next head pat. It's trying to get out of your lap. Clearly the way to get the ending is to push past the cat's limits, but that's just so mean. This time we're gonna give it meatloaf. You get the feeling the cat won't be too impressed with anything that comes out of the can. You're not about to feed it whatever the heck that toxic looking sludge is, so it's settled. A tuna sandwich for you and your leftover meatloaf for your feline guest. You ignore the cat's disappointing meows as you put the weird container back in the fridge to dispose of later. You warm the meatloaf in the microwave. Beep 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 beep. You place the now warm meatloaf on a saucer next to the cat on the counter. This is so silly. I would never feed a cat meatloaf. You don't think you should be encouraging it to eat up there, but you figure it'll make up for electing not to feed it the toxic goop it wanted. Now, the cat looks like it finds the meatloaf interesting. Works for you. Eat up, kitty. Meow. As the cat digs into its meal, you go about searching for some bread for your tuna sandwich. You're so distracted by your search that you only barely just hear splat. Huh? Oh. You turn around and see that the meatloaf only has 1, maybe 2 bites taken out of it, but more alarmingly, there seems to be a real red trail of something leading away from where the cat had been sitting, and off the edge of the counter towards the living room. Is that blood? Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Did I kill it? No! You jump at the strange sound coming from around the corner, further into your apartment. You attempt to steal your nerves. Taking a breath, you walk around the corner to head into the living room. Ah! You stepped in something warm and wet and red. You resist the urge to vomit and step away from the trail of follow the trail into the living room and see that it leads into the hall. There's bad sounds. This one's actually worrying me a little. It's getting louder. It's definitely in the hall. I knew I shouldn't have given it meatloaf, but I need the endings because I want to spend time with the cat, and you're making it difficult for me, game. You feel like you can hear your heartbeat. You hope whatever it is in the hall can't. Your body shakes as you feel yourself step forward, and forward, and forward, and forward. You peek around the corner. ... Huh? Nothing. There's nothing there. What? You walk further into the hall and see that the trail ends at... the trail leads all the way down the end of it. But there's nothing there. You don't quite feel relief, but at least... Ow. Plop. You feel something warm and wet drip onto your cheek. You feel something very warm. You swipe your shaking hand across and pull back to see your fingers covered in something. Gurgle, gurgle. Oh, that's a big sound. You look up and can see what can only be described as meat. Ah, that's not normal. The entire ceiling of the hallway is covered in a thick, undulating, writhing layer of pulsing meat. At its center is a single glowing eyeball frantically rolling around in every direction. until it lands squarely on you. I'm not a fan of that. Don't do that to me. Try and take a step back, desperate to escape the hallway, to escape this thing. What? Before you can even scream, meaty tendrils shoot out and grab you. No! Let me go! They pull you up and up into a pair of slowly opening jaws. And then chomp. Ending 9 leftovers. Then we've got to figure out what this mystery food is. Is this really a good idea? No, it's not a good idea. But somebody thought that it wouldn't be necessary to go pick up cat food. And I think that's dumb. Simply go get cat food. Fine, I guess if this is what you want. Open the container and... Ugh. You just barely managed to keep from throwing up. But just barely. The stench is overwhelming. Cough, gulp. Yeah, give me a minute. You hazard a look over at the contents of the container. You hazard a look at the contents of the container. I keep trying to speak too fast is the thing. So I'm accidentally almost skipping words. You honestly can't understand what you're supposed to be looking at. Everything is just mashed together. What exactly everything consists of is a mystery you're more than happy to keep unsolved. Different shapes, different sizes, different textures. Not the color though. All of it is the same color. The most unfortunate looking shade of gray you've ever seen, tinted with a nauseating wet green film over the top. Can I change my mind? I don't want to give this to the cat. Am I supposed to warm it up? Or you don't really know how to serve it. Any utensil or plate that touches it is getting thrown out immediately. No exceptions. Your hands are going to be scrubbed with soap and hot water to within an inch of their life after this. You decided against putting this crap in your microwave. You doubt it would taste or smell any better warm. Not wanting to hold it anymore, you shake your head and practically toss the container next to the cat on the counter. Meow! The cat enthusiastically dives in for the toxic-looking sludge, sniffing as if savoring the scent. You turn to the fridge and close it. You've lost your appetite. You're about to head to the bathroom to wash your hands for the next hour or so when... Munch. Crunch. There's a crunch in there? Ugh. I got a shiver from that in real life. Ow. A sharp pain on your foot causes you to stumble. What? You catch yourself on the kitchen sink and look down to see the tip of your sock is... red. That's not good. And the red is still slowly spreading to the rest of your sock. Are you bleeding? You quickly reach down and pull off your sock to see the damage. Huh? Oh, I see what's happening. The middle toe is gone. It's just gone. Just a stump is left in its place, steadily leaking blood onto the floor. You clumsily step back as if it would help you get away from what you are seeing. The blood trail simply follows your movement. 911. You have to call 911. Where's the... Cough, cough, cough. Girl, what? Your tongue is what? What's happening to me? Munch, munch, munch. So, just looking at that is bad, and knowing that it's eating me is not good. I'm not that texture. I would be a good stew, I think. Completely unbothered by your suffering. Munch, munch, munch. Not bothering to try and stop the blood from dribbling out of your mouth. You keep watching in a daze as the cat happily chews a gross piece of... Wait, that's... You look more closely at the mystery food in the cat's jaws. It looks vaguely familiar. It looks like a tongue. Ah, that explains it. No, I knew. I could tell. It's mean to me. Munch, good. At the very least, the cat's enjoying it. Before you can even think to do anything to stop it, the cat dives into the container again, bites into a piece that kind of looks like a... Ah! You collapse to the floor, clutching your torso. You writhe around on the blood-streaked tiles, crying. Something inside you just blurred. Blood pours out from deep within you. Whatever that was felt important. Sure, everything's important. Except maybe the appendix. And now it's probably gone, too. It hurts. So much. Stop, please. You weakly try and reach up to the cat on the counter above you. Your vision blurs from the effort, from the pain, from your tears, from... Ugh. Your eyes. Your eyes! You fall limply back to the floor. You're leaking blood all over. From all over. Your foot, your mouth, your insides, your eye sockets. You can feel your life fading away too. That's fine. If it means not feeling the pain of losing another part of you, then hopefully the cat will take its time eating your eyeballs and giving you time to just... Ending 10. You are what you eat. Not a fan of that one. I'm gonna be honest. I do not like the gross description of food, as I've just learned. We've done the other things. The cat leans away from your next head pat. It's trying to get out of your lap. Ow. When you scratch into the cat's chin, it bites at your fingers. You might be bleeding, but really it barely hurts. More of a warning than anything. The cat struggles in your hold. It's watching you closely. We have to keep petting. We don't have any other options. Keep petting the cat. Ow! Chomp. Ow, that's my hand. A lot of these endings seem to have to do with being eaten. Ah, the cat bites off your finger. It hurts. You're definitely bleeding now, but for some reason, you just can't stop. You don't know what it is. Its fur is so much softer than you realize. You'd think that it would be shining in the faint light of your living room, but if it's as if the darkness of the cat's black coat is sucking in all the illumination around it, rendering it completely null. You're drawn to it, like you're somehow holding a deep dark abyss right in your lap, and it's purring. It seems calmer now, munching on your severed finger. The stump between your thumb and middle finger is leaking, but you keep petting. You fret that your blood will ruin its fur, but the cat no longer seems to mind. Time passes. It's dark out now. Soft as the fur is, your palm is starting to feel raw and damp under the constant friction from your petting. You think faintly that maybe you've had enough. You start to lift your hand from the cat when in a flash... Ah! Don't like that. I needed that. Your entire hand is separated from your wrist. Flops onto your lap beside the cat. The cat's claws on its front right paw glisten with crimson liquid. You don't feel it for a moment, but your body tenses, anticipating the pain as you blankly watch the cat lick at the bloody palm of your severed hand. Meow. Ah, it hurts. It really, really hurts. Then, the cat looks up at you and you feel compelled to keep petting. You're reluctant, but you're also afraid of what will happen if you don't heed the call. What will you lose next if you try to resist again? You were hurt for your insistent petting earlier, yet now you're being hurt for trying to stop? It defies all logic, but that's what scares you. There's no reasoning with such fickle whims. You feebly try to raise your uninjured hand to pet the cat, but it stiffens, golden eyes glinting dangerously. Well, alright then. You raise your bleeding stump and resume your petting to the best of your ability, and it purrs. That's a little weird, don't you think? But I guess it just really likes that hand, or liked that hand and likes that arm. You pet, ow, and you bleed. You pet, ow, and you bleed. You pet, ow, and you bleed. You pet and you... Oh, I would run out of blood eventually, wouldn't I? Personal boundaries. You pet the cat within an inch of both our lives. We've cleaned it, we fed it. Now I'm gonna leave it alone. Like what? Oh, there's quite a few options here. Clean the apartment. You decide that even if it's your day off, it doesn't mean you should be completely unproductive. Alright, we've been infected with capitalism. You know you have a guest and all, but you really shouldn't put off your chores. Best to get them done while you're in the mood to do so. So for now, you get dressed, roll up your sleeves, and get to work on cleaning the apartment. At least you try to. Sweep the living room. You wipe the kitchen counter. Okay, you don't make your bed, but who actually does that anyway? Still, you notice that no matter how much you clean up, you keep finding more messes than when you started. Peek over at the cat. You suspect that it might be the culprit behind this mystery. Every time you rush it to check on it or catch in the act, you always find it napping in the living room. You keep cleaning, but the cat, or something, keeps leaving more and more mess in its wake. We're gonna catch the cat. How are you supposed to finish cleaning up if this little imp is making a mess of itself? No, you know the cat's the culprit. Consider locking it up in the bathroom, at least until you clean the rest of the apartment. But it just doesn't seem fair when you don't actually have any proof. You need to endeavor. I can speak, I promise. You need to investigate this further. You need proof, not just for the sake of your sanity, but more importantly for the sake of cleanliness. See, now this game's speaking my language. You start to clean again and peek behind you, catching mere glimpses of a paw here or a tail there. But as with earlier, when you rush back to the living room, the cat is still sleeping. Okay, you wanna play, cat? Then let's play. This time you decide to lay a trap, one your feline friend won't be able to resist. Tackle the kitchen island counter and give it the works. It's glistening by the time you're done. So clean, you dropkick anyone who even thought of eating off it. Perfect trap for your little cleaning saboteur. You whistle innocently as you exit the room and hide around the corner of the entryway to the hall. From the angle you're at, you have a perfect view of the cat and the island counter. There's no way you won't catch the culprit in the act now. If it really isn't the cat, then maybe you'll give it a treat as an apology for your suspicions. But as you deliberate if you should stop by the grocery store to get some fish, the cat starts to... What? Shift? Who gave it that booty? Its back, though, is rising and falling evenly moments ago. Is now rippling in small tremors like an agitated wave on a black sea. It's shuddering. It's bubbling. It's bulging. Oh! 2 cats, I suppose? What the hell? Yeah, that's my thinking. But you know, happens. You gape in disbelief as another cat bursts out of the still sleeping feline you've taken home with you. You're fairly certain that's not how cats give birth. But more importantly, you watch cat number 2 shake itself off before leaping up onto the counter, rolling around on top of it and leaving fur and grime in its wake. Probably should have given it a bath earlier. You feel like your mind is lagging behind the reality of the discovery you've just made, but you don't seem capable of thinking beyond smaller observations. For example, though the hows and whys of what you're witnessing elude you, the more pertinent question that strikes you is that if the original cat is still sleeping, and the clone cat is busy making yet another mess, then where are all the other clones? Ah, spooked me. Just a little. Suddenly, the 2 cats look directly at you in perfect unison. Their eyes pin you to the spot with their intensity. But, you realize with the familiar sinking feeling of being watched from behind, they're not the only ones looking at you. You slowly turn around. Huh? Ooh, wow. Ooh, that's several. Packed in the hall behind you from the floor to the ceiling, the living, breathing, writhing wall of cats, of clones, all piled on top of each other. The glowing golden eyes of every cat in the undulating wall of pure black fur. Every single eye is trained on you. Out of fear and a sheer desperate need to distance yourself from this blight on reality and order, you take a single step back. And in response, the wall just breaks. Oh my. I know I'm about to die, but that's still a silly image. The cats all stampeding over you. It'd be kind of cute if their soft paws weren't hiding claws as sharp as knives. You try to protect yourself, but there's just too many of them. Blood leaks steadily from your scratches. You feel dizzy. With what little strength you have left, you turn your head and watch as the cats tear through carpet and upholstery, knock over vases and dishes and lamps, claw at the walls. It's going to take forever to clean this up, you think. Maybe you'll tackle it all out again later, right after you take a short nap. With an annoyed sigh, you breathe your last breath. Ending 2, double trouble. That one's probably the most likely to actually happen to me. Last time we cleaned the apartment, now we'll watch a movie. You're not tired enough for a nap, but you're lazy But you're too lazy to get started on any of your chores, so you decide to watch a movie. You get dressed in your favorite pajamas, make some popcorn. I should make a pajama model. That'd be fun. Make some popcorn with an obscene amount of butter and head over to your armchair, only to discover that the cat is already napping on it. You frown a little in thought. Your couch isn't at the best angle for the optimal TV viewing pleasure, and you don't feel like pushing it around and having to put it back later. The only options you have left are to sit on the floor, or move the cat and reclaim your throne. We sit on the floor. The cat deserves it. You decide to sit on the floor. The cat is a guest after all, and you pride yourself on being a good host if nothing else. Well, at least you would if you'd ever had any guests over before. You grab a blanket and some pillows and make a comfy nest in front of the chair. You pop in a random movie from your collection and can tell instantly that it's one of your favorite horror films. You've seen it a few times already, but it never fails to get your blood pumping. I don't really watch horror. This game is like the first horror thing I've done in a long time. A few minutes in, you're already invested, getting reacquainted with the story and characters. The scares won't come until later, but for some reason you feel like something is watching you from behind. You know it's probably nothing, but you feel compelled to check anyway. You peek over your shoulder. Gah! Only to jump out of your skin, jostling a few pieces of popcorn out of the bowl in your lap. The cat is awake and looking right at you. You take a calming breath, recovering from your heart nearly lurching out of your chest, and immediately feel foolish. It was just the cat, of course. It was so quiet you'd forgotten it was right behind you, even though it's the whole reason you're sitting on the floor in the first place. You shakily pick up the remote, intending to rewind some of the parts you missed. However, as soon as you press the rewind button, the TV shuts off. Huh? You blink confused. Nothing else turned off. The kitchen's dimmed light was still on. The digital clock was glowing, and the movie player was still rewinding. The power clearly didn't go out, so why? You feel a chill run up your spine as you catch the cat's reflection in the dark TV screen. It's still looking at you? Cats stare silly. It's kind of their thing, right? And you're a new addition to its life. Of course it's going to study you closely to see if you're trustworthy. As you mentally reassure yourself, you turn the TV back on. Huh? What? Let's look at this. I'm interested by the static, if you can't tell. But the movie isn't playing what's on screen. It's... Ooh. It's you? You watch yourself from on screen as you feel your brow furrow in tandem. It's like footage of you in real time, like you're being recorded. You feel a familiar sensation of your mind focusing on small details to avoid the bigger picture of your current situation. Avoiding the questions of how this is happening, of who or what is doing this, and why. Suddenly your mirrored self smiles and waves at you, all on its own. You don't wave back, too stunned to move. The you on the screen doesn't seem to mind though. It then stands up, it walks out of frame, and a terrified yell rips out of your mouth before you can think to stifle it. On screen, in the chair, is the cat. But it's wrong. Oh my. It becomes a large, swollen mass of black fur. Its twitching pulse arrhythmical with its slow, almost methodical breaths. Its mouth is a yawning entrance to a black abyss framed by a set of teeth that look very, very sharp. Glowing eyes bulge all over its body. It's still looking at you. Doesn't even acknowledge your on-screen persona as they walk back into the frame and pet it almost lovingly. Then, the you inside the TV touches one of the cat's fangs. Ow. You flinch at a sudden sharp pain in your palm. You look down and sure enough, your hand is bleeding. You're not particularly afraid of blood, but for some reason the sight of it leaking out of you sends another chill down your back. A thought, clear and terrible, flashes across your mind. It's not just the mutated cat in the TV that's watching you, is it? Don't look behind you. 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 You watch helplessly as your on-screen self smiles and nods at you almost encouragingly, then stand in front of the cat's gaping jaws. They look into the dark depths. As you're torn between the horrifying realization of what's about to happen and the gripping wonder of what they see looking back at them from that deep darkness, they jump in. Darkness is a sudden presence all around you, pressing in, holding you down, and yet somehow you also feel weightless. You can't tell if you're falling, but it doesn't feel like you're laying down or standing either. You feel warm, you feel cold, you feel everything, you feel nothing. You feel nothing. Ending 3, silent film. Interesting. Continue. You're a little tired from the events of the day. Making life-changing choices like committing to the responsibility of caring for another living creature really wears you out. You could definitely use a nap. You head to your room and get dressed in your pajamas before you decide to grab a glass of water from the kitchen. You head back to your bedroom ready for a much-needed nap. Meow. Whoa! Only for the cat to race past you through the open door and jump on the middle of the bed. It takes its time kneading at the sheets before settling down and closing its eyes. And it purrs. Well, that was fast, you frowned thoughtfully. Now that your mind's on it, you find yourself really craving a nap in your own bed. There's no way you're settling for sleeping on the couch, certainly not the armchair, which means you should sleep next to the cat. What's the harm in sharing the bed, right? You both have had a long day after all. You try to carefully avoid jostling the cat as you lay down, but it immediately scoots over and curls up against you anyway. And it purrs. You smile. I do. Sweet dreams. Huh? You feel like you slept for a long time. Huh? You feel a warm weight on your back, but you don't see the... Oh, mystery self then. You feel comfortable, you consider getting up, but as soon as the thought enters your head, your mind fills with static and a deep sense of disapproval. Not yet then? Okay. The cat, jostled by your attempts at movements, kneads painfully at your back before settling down again and falling back asleep. You fall back into slumber too. It's night. You want to get up. Ow. Claws dig into your back like a warning. Tomorrow then, right? It's morning, you'll be late for work, but the cat doesn't budge. You don't even try to get up this time. You just close your eyes and drift off again. It's the next day. Since the last several days, or has been weeks, or longer. You're not quite sure. You're hungry. You don't know how long you've been lying down. You feel sore on your back, but also on your stomach, your arms, your face, everywhere. You can't remember your last meal, the last time you drank anything. You've been sleeping all this time, but you feel exhausted, more tired than you think you've ever felt in your life. It feels like a giant hand is pressing you into the bed. You can't remember the last time you even considered moving, but somehow you know that you need to go back to sleep anyway. Everything will be just fine if you go back to sleep. Huh? You think you're hallucinating when the cat finally stirs. It stretches languidly before hopping off your back. You hear its feet padding through your still open bedroom door, its steps fading down the hall. You don't open your eyes. You don't move. You're afraid you don't remember how. You're afraid that the static will return if you try. But you eventually do try. You try to prop yourself up on your arm. It's thinner than you've ever seen it. Thinner than you think should be possible. Ah! Crack. The arm snaps under the weight of your body and crumbles to dust on the bedsheets. It doesn't hurt in the slightest. As if even your nerves have dried up and become as useless as you feel in general. Just how long have you been laying in bed? You don't have much time to think about it. Your failed attempt at sitting up sends you tumbling over the side of the bed like a rag doll. Crack, crack, crack! But you think you're probably closer to being a ceramic doll, as your body shatters instantly upon impact with the floor. Your head rolls towards the door, letting you watch as the rest of your strewn body parts crack and crumble, and turn to broken ruin as your consciousness begins to fade. Oh, cat! Hehe. Then the cat strolls into view, then poking and prodding at the remains of your brittle limbs. Bad kitty, you try and say. But you think your job might have snapped off earlier as well. Almost as if sensing your attention, the cat walks over to you. Well, your head at least. And you watch with your final conscious seconds as it lays down, curling its body around you. How cute! And it purrs! It feels warm. At least we get that. Well, maybe another nap couldn't hurt. Just a cat nap. Before, we had the choice to move the cat out of the way. Reclaim your throne. Sorry, kitty, but that's my spot. Pick up the cat and place it on the floor. Meow. It's clearly upset with you when you try to pet it as oh, whoops. As an apology, it dodges your hand and scampers away. You shrug and play a random movie before nestling into your chair. Some horror film that you love to heckle from beginning to end. Nothing but an endless string of pointless jump scares. Did the guys not know the meaning of the word subtle? Crash. What was that? Was that the bathroom? The cat must have gotten into the medicine cabinet or knocked something over. Calming your thundering heart with a deep breath, you pause the movie and get up to investigate. Meow. Whoa. Cat dashes between your legs from the hall. Fleeing the scene only makes you look guiltier, you know. You're even more reluctant to see the damage now. You just want to relax and watch your bad horror movie. Go into the bathroom and turn on the light. Just as you thought, all the stuff in your medicine cabinet is scattered on the tiles. You sigh. At least none of it looks broken or damaged. You crouch down to pick everything up. Click. Huh? Did the door just close? Did you bump into it when you crouched down? Or, well, at least the cat can't come in and make more of a mess this way. Huh? The lights? Didn't you just replace the bulbs? They weren't faulty, were they? You never remember to hold on to your receipts for situations like these. You doubt you'll be able to get your money back. Click, click. You stand up. You shake out the pain in your knees from crouching and open your medicine cabinet. Carefully, you place everything back where they belong, making sure nothing is missing. Close the cabinet door. Oh! Ah! You jump back, slamming against the wall, covering your mouth. You look back up at the mirror on the medicine cabinet door to see nothing. Nothing? What the hell? Something. What? You know you saw something just now. You know you did, right? You saw something. Ah! You rush out of the bathroom and slam the door behind you without looking. You enter the hall and... No. Cat. Ooh. No. Shield yourself with your arms and... Nothing. Nothing again. Peek through your fingers and see... Just your usual hallway. You don't feel very good. You need to sit down. Carefully make your way back to the dark living room, trying not to overwhelm your senses any more than you already have. Maybe you should watch something a little more lighthearted, or just lie down instead. You don't know. It's a little hard to think. You just need to sit down. Stumbling forward, you reach your chair, but... Ow. Ouch. It's nothing at all. Just a cat sitting back in your chair again, looking up at you curiously. Meow? But it's enough. Your heart lurches so harshly at a mixture of fear and anticipation that it completely gives out. Your eyes roll up into your skull. You feel yourself falling back. Ooh, spooky. You're dead before you even hit the ground. Ending 4, real subtle. Then, where you take a nap. Then we move the cat. It doesn't budge in the slightest. Okay. Then if we... Okay. So that just brings us back. This is my bed. Push a little more firmly this time. Meow. Cat sounds annoyed with you. You will sleep in your own bed. Cat opens one yellow eye and slides it up to look at you. Is his voice a little deeper than before? Move the cat. You move forward, ready to shove the cat with all your might. You're thrown back by some invisible force and crash into the dresser before falling to the ground. Wind knocked out of you, you look up in a daze. You don't quite comprehend what it is you're seeing. A strong swirling wind has picked up, throwing swirling wind has picked up, throwing items all over the place, as if a mini hurricane had just taken form in your room. Right there in the center of it all is the cat, hovering in the air above the bed, its eyes open, glowing like molten lava. That's like a storm siren almost. I think that's a fun detail. Whoa! You watch as a vortex rips open in the center of your bed, and panic as the swirling wind turns into a vacuum, dragging you towards the bed. Ugh. Your nails catch and it tears as you desperately tries to cling to the carpet, the floorboards, and any and every piece of furniture within your reach. Bloody fingers slipping clumsily on every surface. But there's nothing you can do. As you touch the vortex, your body starts to disintegrate. Tiny particles of your body separating and floating into nothing. The last thing you see is the cat landing nimbly on the bed, kneading at your sheets before it curls up and falls back asleep. Ending 5. Do not to disturb. Okay. Well, we didn't get ending 1. Can you believe that? Huh. We got a good few of them. I think that's gonna have to be it for this video. So, yeah. I don't have too much experience doing this sort of... Well, I mean, I've made edited videos before. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I'm Shaymim, if you didn't know. This is just a nice little edited video I thought I'd make because I felt like it. I saw this game on itch.io, and I thought to myself, this looks so cute. It wasn't exactly cute, but I did really like the art. So I'm not gonna play the rest of the endings unless people really want me to go back and finish them. I think that all of the don't take the cat home endings, I'm assuming there's several of them, all of those you guys can totally figure out yourself because I want to take this cat home. Just remove the word not there, you know? But yeah, I'm Shaymim. I think this is fun. I'm gonna try and edit this over the next 5 days, and then we will see if the video turns out good. If it does, then thank you. If it doesn't, then consider leaving me a suggestion. I'm not good at outros. I usually raid out on streams and then say goodbye. Or rather, I say goodbye and then raid out. I'm so out of sorts. Videos are different, and we'll hope they continue working. Editing is tricky. Goodbye. Video's stopping.